everybody, and welcome. Oh, I'm capturing the wrong screen. to Capers Behind the 8 Ball. I am Little Red Dot. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to have everybody here for what will be our finale episode. I am very excited with how things have turned out. This is not at all how I saw this campaign going. I don't know what I expected, but this was definitely not it. And I think tonight we're gonna have two major players come in that I think should cause some drama, which is, you know, what I'm all about. So, before I dive in too deep into who I am and, thank you out there, how you can support the show today, let's go around to this awesome group of people that I have here who are playing an kind of sketchy group of criminals. Not the worst criminals I've ever seen yet. Somebody did punch their mom last episode, so, I mean...
And kidnap her.
And kidnapped her, so I don't know, maybe they're a
would do that?
Step above sketchy. I'm not sure. But actually, you know what, speaking of, let's actually start with Mr. Eric Vulgaris. How are you?
Hey, Dot. Hi, everyone in internet land. Hi, fellow players. I'm Eric, Eric Vulgaris everywhere. I'm the analyst for Roll20 and also a streamer, and I'm playing Joey, mom puncher, as well as just being a my superpowers are to get hit and to dish it as hard as I can take it.
I think you are succeeding.
Oh, also I'm a child kidnapper.
Oh, that's true. We did kidnap. You tend to like to kidnap things. I feel like I don't know why. I just imagine Joey's like, I don't know what to do. Just bring it with us. And he just like snatches everything up. We took a kid. We took the mom. Just deal with it as it happens. Nice.
My beliefs and personas are very much like I have no morals whatsoever.
Well, it's a good thing you're playing a criminal then.
I have a sense of duty and getting what needs to be done, but I just don't care how it's done.
Well, you gotta live by your own code.
Yeah, exactly. But I never break my own code.
Oh, that's a good thing for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Moving right on down the line, we have Kika. I think you're muted. Whoop. Come here, Kika. We'll let her test her mic again, and we'll move on to Saverick, and we'll come right back.
I'm completely unprepared now. I'm Saverick. I DM stuff once in a while and bitch a lot about my job.
It's okay. Join the club.
Yeah, I do mostly just D&D campaigns and stuff like that. But I'm playing Silvio Big Slabuco, who's more of a mindfucker than anything else. And I don't kidnap people, but I do point guns at children. So,
also true. We all seem to have no standing of values when it comes to children in this game. That's cool. It's cool. That's what I get for introducing a child into a game full of gangsters. That's cool. But yeah, so I guess while we're going around, tell me, what out of last episode, so we know that, you know, Joey punched his mom, what was the action you thought Big Sly took that best captured his character, or his moment, or his soul?
I think really it was his dedication to family, to his his confidants around him, and I think the fact that he gave that agency over to the lion, I think it kind of spoke volumes about how he felt about Joey and the group. So
yeah, for sure. I would absolutely agree. Yeah, no, it definitely was like a kind of defining moment. That's
right.
Cool. Yeah, very nice. How are we looking, Kika?
Hello?
Hi, there is that lovely voice. So who are you, and tell us about your character?
Hey, I'm Kika. I am playing Lucky Lily Hirschfeld, who is a career gangster, is able to manipulate probability, as we saw last week, among other things, and typically is concerned with being good at her job and reliable.
It's probably a good thing, too, considering who she works for. You don't really get to mess up working for them.
Keeping secrets.
Yeah, that is a true, and we'll see today if any of those secrets come out for the rest of the group. What do you think was her kind of moment? We did see her alter last time, or like manipulate her luck, I guess you could say. But what do you think was her moment last game?
Last game, I'm not sure. Putting her handbag over Joey's mom's.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I had that moment. I was like, "That is so her. It's so good." Yep. Yep. Not only did we kidnap the mom, but we bound her and put a designer handbag over her head. Classy. Moving right on down the line, we have Mad Fishmonger.
Hello, I'm Mad Fishmonger. I do a lot of gaming on the internet, and I make dice bags and things too, so you can check that out. And I play Callie, Callie the Killer.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't really gotten a chance at this point to do too much in the way of sharpshooting.
Yeah, it's coming.
I was about to say, you're not there yet.
Coming, I know it. But you know, she does get to be invisible a lot, which is incredibly amusing
Very
to
cool.
her. She just loves it so much. She just loves messing with people. And you know, she grew up out in the swamp, you know, in the bayou. There's not really a lot of people around, so she, you know, now that she gets to hang around people and irritate them, she finally can.
Yeah, I hear that. You were kind of a loner too until you kind of got wrapped up into this. Except for you're in Big Sly's like history, whatever that is. We know exists from the first episode, whatever that history is. Yeah. And what do you think was her defining moment, or that like thing that she did that really just kind of was like, yeah, that's killer?
I don't know. I think just kind of like, because it kept scaring people, like just disappearing and then,
Oh yeah,
you know, just suddenly appearing and saying something.
yeah, that like in and out. You never know where she is. Very cool.
Yeah,
I
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, there were a few times where I was like, whoa! I remember that, yeah. And last but certainly not least, we have Craig with us, who is not only one of our great players, but also the writer of this really cool game we're playing. So, Craig, introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing.
Hi, yeah, I'm Craig Campbell. I'm the owner of Nerdburger Games. I designed Capers. And let's see, I'm playing Bertrand Esprit. He's a car thief. He fancies himself a bit of a con artist, although he's not terribly good at it. Mostly he's been doing car thiefy things thus far. And he's got the abilities to kind of, he bends space and things. He can move very, very fast, and he can create portals.
Very true, and, well, I won't hear. You tell me what you thought was a defining moment, because I know my thoughts.
Well, I don't know that it's something that's necessarily easily recognized, just because we haven't explored Bertrand's background a great deal. But he did reveal his business relationship with Donnie Richardson, and that's a kind of a trust thing, because he normally keeps all of his. He's kind of this guy who keeps on the go and keeps moving and keeps all of his nefarious dealings separate from one another, but he's very much in a bad situation with all of these other folks, and so he figures that if he's going to get himself out of this, he's going to need to trust them, which means that he went ahead and revealed, like, basically kind of where he takes care of his car thieving business.
Yeah. Actually, I thought it was a really cool moment too. You like pulled it out and I was like, oh, that's amazing. You know, having a contact, what a gangster thing to have. You're like hidden garage. I don't know, seeing the portal, though, was pretty impressive, I have to be honest. And the way you used it to take out that cop was also very cool.
Shooting around corners is pretty great.
Yeah, shooting around corners is the jam. So, this is the awesome crew that's going to be back with us tonight, like I said, playing another game of Capers. I'm Little Red Dot. This is my channel, and I will be the GM for I guess, this last episode. Last game... Oh, actually, before I do that, let me just tell you, I have a feeling that everybody here at this table, if you can't tell, really loves this game. And we all want to share our love of this game with you. So, you can, in fact, go grab yourself a copy of Capers via that link right there. But also tonight, we are going to be giving away a free PDF copy by a random giveaway at the end. So to enter tonight's...
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, we're not?
If the person who enters this and wins this is happy, I will mail them a hardcover.
Hardcover edition being given out tonight, right here.
It means you need to be willing to give me your mailing address. I promise you I will only send a hardcover copy of the book to you. That is all I will do with your address.
Craig's a pretty trustworthy dude. That's all he did with my address, if it means anything. He did send me a beautiful hardcover copy. I can show you right here. Look how beautiful it is. It is just a really incredibly, well done book. I don't know if I'm doing a very good job of it, but it's there.
And I'll give you the PDF too, so that you have that handy.
Yeah, great, so you get both. You get 2 for 1 tonight by entering the giveaway. So to enter tonight's giveaway, let me make sure I give you guys the right. Tonight's giveaway word is Capone, as in the Capone of Al Capone. So exclamation point Capone will enter you direct into tonight's giveaway. I see all of you popping up. That tells me that it's out there working. So feel free, drop your exclamation point Capone into chat, and you will be entered to win a hard copy cover, thanks to Craig, the writer, and a PDF copy. And I bet you, if we ask really nice, Craig would do something really cool, like sign it or something.
I could, if somebody really wants a signature in there. I have to actually order it. I have to ship it from my home.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, because you're gonna do it from drive-thru.
You know what? Let me just do this.
Oh, are you gonna do it live?
No, not necessarily, because we don't know who we're sending it to.
That's true.
But it's not like I don't have a few.
That's also a good point. So
that's about a quarter of what I have in my apartment.
Wow. Well, so what I hear is that Craig has Capers books to give away. So go check out Craig. Go check out Nerdburger Games, because Capers is not the only game that they have out there. You can hit up my YouTube and see the playthrough of another game that I love that Craig wrote as well. So in addition to being able to win the giveaway tonight, you can also affect the game. Our players have a pool of what's known as Moxie, and their Moxie points can be spent to do incredible things. And you can actually give Moxie points by donating bits or just regular donations, and you can read more about how to support below and what you can give at whatever level and what a Moxie point costs. In addition, we have a bar here, just over here, that is for sub goals. If we reach our sub goal, something awesome happens in the game. I say awesome, the audience actually gets to decide, so it could be incredibly terrible as well. So help me fill that bar. You guys can affect the game again. That's how this whole process works. Now, last week, they escaped I won't even call it a fight, because it wasn't much of a fight on the part of the cops, that cornered them in an alleyway. The car, thanks to 2 falling people, Big Sly and Killa, was not functioning for their escape, and so they had to face... Oh, thank you for that subscription. They have to face the cops head on. But at the forefront and leading this group of coppers was a certain detective who we learned is actually the mother of our very own Joey the Lion. There was a family drama in the alleyway involving fists and kidnapping of said mother. And once the crew managed to escape, it was actually Bertrand that had the brilliant idea of hiding out for the rest of the night until things settled down at a contact of his. Specifically, his kind of auto contact. So they're in a car garage, small 2-car kind of place on the outskirts of New Orleans, somewhere between the city and the bayou. And we're going to pick up actually the following morning. They managed to hide out pretty well. They did, after a series of strange conversations, decide to release the detective, if I remember correctly, under a few conditions that, she wouldn't basically call the cops on them. And Bertrand teleported her to the nearest police cars that were searching the area. What has become of our chief detective, Allie Balian, we don't know yet. The sun has not completely come up. Bertrand, you're probably very sure of the fact that you need to be out of here before he needs to open his business the following day. It is a car garage. So I would say easily you're probably up first. The sound of the swamp is still that of night. The crickets chirp, and the smell in the air is that of the bayou. That brackish salt water hits your nostrils. And it's there to stay in the heavy, misty morning. The sound of police cars that rang all throughout the night, searching up and down the areas outside of New Orleans for the five of you, dissipated sometime early morning. It's about 6 a.m. You guys can wake up at your leisure and continue how you see fit.
Yeah, Bertrand goes around and starts kicking everybody awake. Razan mon ami.
He's probably already awake.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like staying as close to a window and checking outside as often as possible.
Nothing, actually. Surprisingly enough, it's been very, very quiet. You did see the light in the little shack where Bertrand's friend actually lives or resides flip on about 20 minutes ago, but he is clearly just doing his own morning routine. He doesn't seem to be coming out, but he is up.
And she doesn't actually expect to see anything, but she's still like...
No.
She's been in crime for a while and has gotten a little paranoid.
Yeah, and that paranoia never really leaves somebody that lives a life of crime.
Yep.
I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm definitely the last one up.
Yeah, I think I'm used to getting up pretty early, so.
What is the plan, I guess? You guys have a box truck that you hit out back. I say a box truck, it's more like a truck van, really.
Panel van.
Panel van. It's pretty, I would say it's not necessarily in the greatest condition at this point. It was part of a firefight with the cops, and the hood was dented in, and if I believe correctly, Bertrand has kind of rigged whatever tube is in the engine. My glorious moment last episode. Where to function. You did say there were 2 cars in this garage currently with you. One up on the rack that had just finished a paint job that looks in pretty good condition, and then another that's in parts all over the place.
Yep.
I'll go Hester Joey. You getting up?
Did you? Okay. Oh, yeah, we really getting up this early? Okay. And I look around and I'm finally like, oh, all right, everyone's up but me. All right. Early? Why we getting up so early?
He's kicking us out.
Some friend.
Hey, I don't know, man.
You could have slept in the gutter.
Yeah.
Time to go.
All right, put on my boots.
Where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah, what's the plan then, Chief?
Everybody's like,
Who's looking at who? Well, I think, I mean, unless somebody has some bright ideas, I think, we had a couple of thoughts were to try to find the Moisey family.
Oh yeah, go back.
And try to clear our name with them and get in and maybe work with them to try to figure out what's going on with the preacher man. Try to hunt down the preacher man. We could, conversely, we could just try to hunt down the preacher man ourselves.
Yeah.
So you guys were given a few bits of information. So you tried to rack his mother's brain, and it wasn't until, of course, the last minute that she remembered that a very important figure in town that had been gone for quite a while had come back, living a new lifestyle, and opened a church in town. This person in particular was an engineer. He engineered the pumps that allowed the Moisey family to put their stills in the swamp. Not that she can say that that's him in particular, but she does know that he has, like I said, recently come back into town in the last couple months and has opened a small church.
Baldwin
town.
Wood.
Baldwin Wood. A. Baldwin Wood.
Okay.
Known as the engineer. He was well known when he was an engineer, but it is also pretty well known that the Moiseys kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, bullied him in to allow it, of fixing the swamp so that they could monopolize.
And one more time, what are we trying to get out of the Moiseys?
I think it was we were looking to go down that route before we had any other route to follow.
Yeah.
Because kidnapping Mommy is what led us to more knowledge about Baldwin and being the preacher man and everything. And so I mean, we could simply try to hunt him down. I mean, I think between the group of us, we could track him down, either ourselves or via our various contacts.
Right. Okay. So like if this was in character, Joey would probably be sitting there being like lacing up his boots and going like, all right, so I guess we're going after Preacher Man then, right?
How do you all feel about, I don't know, maybe burning down a church? Is that
I
somebody's
don't-
religion here?
That will get attention.
I'm gonna wring the life out of his body with my hands.
Yeah.
I thought maybe instead of us, going out to look for him all through the streets, maybe we could just send a message to him to come to us.
Nah, we take the fight to him. He's got reach. Get in there.
It's also his turf, just saying.
I know.
Do we know where
I'm
this
not
church
used
is?
to.
This is, you can rightfully assume,
Yeah.
this is the church that you and Killa tracked the boy to, where you watched him die.
Yeah. I'm not super used to like maybe running my mouth against Sly. Usually like, your dog. But like I'm meaning here, I'm like, no, Sly, I got the plan. We just go right in there. It sounds so crazy because they'll least expect it.
So
I would love to counter that argument, but I cannot.
It's a bad plan.
It's a horrible-
This is a dumb plan, but my character loves it. I just want you to know that.
I just want to be able to use the phone before we do anything big.
okay.
That's right. We should use the phone.
Bertrand finds the phone for her. I mean, there is one here. There has to be.
Yeah, probably in the office.
Being a business.
That's
Yeah.
a great plan. We should phone the church. Let them know that we're coming.
Or we could tell them that we planted a bomb in the church.
Big bomb threat?
But I don't know how to plant a bomb.
Doesn't make a difference.
Well,
Have to, because here's the thing. We'll lie to them.
Oh. Why are we lying to them? Why aren't we just punching their face?
yeah. I mean, look.
Lily just shakes her head and goes to use the phone.
Just for the record, as an aside, I love that we are explaining things to Joey as if he were a 5-year-old.
But he kind of is.
Well,
The strongest 5-year-old ever.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, how many hits to the head did this kid take?
All it takes is one.
So,
Going
Will,
up.
yeah.
I mean, it's fair. Going head first into every problem is my style.
I was about to say, that's probably
Right?
all you
It's worked
know.
for me in the past, so that's fair. It's not. It doesn't seem dumb when you have body armor and super strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Well, Joey, you can, walk through a wall.
More or less.
So, me, I can.
That's right. Let me take the heat. I'm used to going 12 rounds. It's not a problem.
So you want us all to just go in behind you?
Yeah.
I mean, Joey, he killed somebody just being next to them. You have to remember this kid.
If you're trying to make me afraid of him, you're gonna have to try a lot harder than that. Joey the Lion ain't afraid of nobody.
No, you're not.
Can somebody help me out here? Because I feel like I'm talking to a fucking wall.
Bertrand pipes in. I can get you up real close to him real fast.
That's not the kind of help I was looking for.
See, I like where your head's at. See this one right here.
Okay, but
just throw like a steam
And you have a
or
phone.
something.
And then probably that time the phone calls.
Exactly. So yeah, you guys are like, you're like, oh no, it's not like that, and you guys are trying to explain this situation to the lion. As our lucky Lily steps off into the dark office of this auto shop that does seem to have a phone. Who are you calling?
She was told that Capone was coming into town, right?
This is true. He did tell her he would be there the next day.
So she would probably call her hotel
Okay.
to try to reach him.
Okay. Yeah. So, you ring up the hotel, and, you know, operator, of course, and then, they patch you through, and the front desk picks up. Hello?
Good morning. I should be getting a visitor this morning, but I'm not there presently. If they're there, could you put them on?
Well, can I first have your name and room number?
She will give the room number and the name that the room was under.
Okay. He goes, oh, because of course that is the room that now has 2 dead bodies in it, or did. He goes, oh, right. 1 moment, please. And, like, sets the line down, and you hear, like, some commotion and bustle, and he picks it back up. We did have a visitor for you. Early this morning, came in asking about you, but you were unavailable, of course, since you aren't staying here.
Yes,
and they
I'm
left.
regretfully answering some questions. You know how it is. I don't want to be causing any trouble for the local law enforcement, of course.
Of course not. Still very hesitant on the other line. But the gentleman, along with his friend, departed.
His friend?
Yes, of course. Seemed to be maybe his right hand.
Could you do me a favor and describe this friend to me?
Sure. And he proceeds to describe a kind of... Actually, Joey, would you like to describe him? Because you know this. You know Silver Dollar Sam. What does Silver Dollar Sam look like?
Tall, almost gaunt.
Mm-hmm.
Constant 5 o'clock shadow. Tan skin. Determined. Eyes that are piercing. But a smile that's always charming.
And he kind of gives you the description, gaunt, 5 o'clock shadow, and you immediately at the 5 o'clock shadow know that is not your Nucky. No way. But you do know, and it has been rumored, that Capone does keep a right-hand man, Silver Dollar Sam, which seems to be a more appropriate description to match.
Okay. Did they happen to leave a number at which I could reach them?
He didn't, but he did say that he was interested in touring the Moisey farm, is all he said. And he said, usually we have interested parties come through and request private tours. They meet down at the docks.
Thank you.
Of course. And he says, I would suggest avoiding your room for the next few nights. He almost kind of says under his breath as if to maybe help you out a little bit.
Oh, I wouldn't. As wonderful as your services have been, I could not make my way back there at this time. Regretfully.
He says, well, maybe the next time you visit New Orleans then. Have a good afternoon. Or morning. What time is it? Good morning. Think about that.
A good day to you, too.
And the line hangs up on his end. It's well known that Capone was a very public figure. One of the more public of, specifically, in terms of the kind of criminal life. And similar to Nucky, they keep right-hand people to do very specific jobs for them. you do the jobs that need to be kept quiet, probably for Nucky. Silver Dollar Sam does the jobs that Capone doesn't want to do so that he doesn't get caught and he can live a public lifestyle and be this kind of celebrity, this figure. The gentleman on the other end of the line seemed to, based upon his voice, be very amused that Capone had come to town, and he was more excited to have met him than to worry about letting the cops know that you gave him a call. He is a celebrity, after all.
Well, then I guess I would go back to the group and say, well, who wants to go meet Al Capone?
What?
I don't see how I was unclear.
Do I know at this point, Dot, the connection between Silver Dollar Sam and Capone?
You do not.
Okay. So I'd be feeling pretty impartial about it. I mean, like, well, if we're not going after the preacher man, sure.
Is Capone, he someone can help us with this?
Yes, of course.
Let's go then.
Yeah.
And Bertrand starts nudging people toward the door because it's time to go.
What the fuck is Capone get out of this?
Well, I am not here working for Nucky. I'm here working for Capone.
So we're supposed to just go and back Capone and, you know, give up all them beautiful stills to him, right? That's the price we're going to have to pay to get this preacher off our back, I'm assuming.
Well, it's not like he would be down here running the still personally. It's always good to maintain healthy business relations.
It's like your healthy business relations are going to put me out of business.
You were going to be out of business before I got here. Anyway, with this preacher man about.
Capone, refresh my mind a minute. Capone's not from the East Coast, is he?
He's certainly not from around here.
Chi-town?
He's Chicago.
All right.
Correct.
As long as I ain't doing no more deals with any East Coasters, so I'm cool with that.
Great.
I don't even know what's going on anymore, so whatever.
So,
Let's all go to the docks.
Bertrand, you know where the docks are. And you know that they're kind of connected to the area where you found the Moisey sisters. Like the docks run down to the kind of isolated area where they had the storehouse. Capone probably assumes that if he goes down there, somebody's going to pick him up.
Are we going?
I mean, you all do realize that New York is attached to this area, right? Capone putting his nose in here is just going to start a big old fucking war.
Probably. So, how do we stay out of it?
I don't know about you, but I don't want to fuck with the families from New York, all right?
I don't want to fuck with anybody. I just want to get paid.
Oh, come on. We both know your skill set. You'd be in high demand in a war.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know, then who do you work for, right? You gotta pick somebody, and then you're shooting people. You don't even know what you're shooting, and
That's a better problem than kicking rocks, because no one's hiring anything. Everything's sunshine.
Also better than us all being dead.
as long as I'm not dead, that's my.
Sound to me like we got Moisey family want us dead for killing their daughters, though we did not. Preacher man want us dead for whatever reason. We got to ally with somebody.
It's true.
I think Capone will just kill us after he's
We go
done
down,
with
talk
us,
to these Capones, see what you have to say.
Well, yeah, it won't hurt to talk, I guess.
Let's hear him out.
Sound like a good business opportunity.
Especially since Lucky here's been working for him for all this time and
And bless her for that.
still around.
Yeah,
I'm assuming we're talking about this as we're driving.
Bertrand, yeah, we'll get in the truck when we get going. Bertrand starts to get like this kind of twinkle in his eye of like he's got his smiles curling up a little bit. Like this is, I mean, and he's talking a little bit about how like this is the chance to make your nut. This is the chance to like actually latch onto somebody that's going to have a real impact and that you can place yourself where you want with that person if you can make something happen.
Make your nut, lose your nut.
Plus, it's a good place to have someone that will be able to offer you support and occasional protection.
Yeah, well, I mean, I worked for the Moises for a long time, you know. I don't have anything against them. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I don't mean to be insensitive, but the Moises aren't really doing great nowadays.
Oh, that was salty.
Yeah, I kind of noticed.
I'll say about that point, you guys were not far from the docks. I mean, you're already on the outskirts of the city. Bertrand, do you pull up to like an open area, or are you trying to park a ways and walk in? What is the game plan?
I'm not walking in without cover. If this does go south, we're going in with Detroit steel wrapped around us.
All right.
So he'll drive up as close as he can, looking for anything that screams, "Hey, look at me! I'm Capone." And if what he's heard about Capone is true, then he's looking for the best dressed fella that he can put his eyes to, probably with a good car.
Well, it actually doesn't take you long. You don't even make it down to the more kind of populated, like, port end of the docks, where the larger boats come in and out and bring in shipments, because the snazzy car is right there in front of your face. Shiny, even in the morning sunlight. The top is already down, even though it's a bad idea for leather in the swamp. And Capone, who you can only rightfully assume stands there, very nice, well-pleated suit. Larger than you probably expected. He stands pretty broad, and next to him is a bit more gangly fellow, not near as charismatic as Capone may seem to be in his suit, standing on what is really fishing docks next to a couple of boats, which you know, Bertrand, are the boats that the Moises take out into the swamp the few times that you have been there.
To Lily.
Nods a bit.
Get to make introduction.
I will. Lily nods to him, hops out of the car, and strides confidently on over to Mr. Capone.
The ground still kind of soggy with the morning dew and the fact you're in a swamp, sinks under your heels. But sure enough, as soon as he lays eyes on you, he spins on his heels. You hear them clicking on the docks in his nice shoes as he says, "Ah, the luckiest of ladies." And he widens his arms like really big and he says, "Come here," as he gives you just probably what is a very personal hug, and he clasps his arms around you. The gentleman next to him says nothing. He picks you up off your feet even a little bit and places you back on the ground, hands on your shoulders, and he says, "Now you look great, kid."
I appreciate you lying to me.
He says, "What? Did you want me to tell you look like you slept in a garage all night?"
Startlingly accurate.
He says, "So? I thought you were, coming alone."
Things have gotten very complicated.
Oh.
Very complicated. turns out the Moisey sisters were off by some strange preacher man who used to be an engineer.
Preacher man. He kind of looks
Yeah.
funny. He says, I guess we have come to the south. Well, and he kind of motions for all four of you to come over. It's very, it seems to be a very cordial kind of, happy, greeting between the two of them. Very friendly.
I'll step aside and gesture to Big Sly and introduce him first, as would be appropriate.
As Kika steps aside, the gentleman next to Capone is seen in full view now. And, Joey, you know this person to be your father.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's Silver Dollar.
Very, very sorry, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna cause a scene here.
I expected you would.
I immediately call him out and begin charging forward to him, right? Not like actually like sprinting, right? But like that like proud, like fast step being like, you, like, you know, and like, I can't, you know,
Yeah.
how dare you show your face here, you know, that kind of thing. I'm totally going against any sort of decorum or rules or anything here. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to throw anyone who gets in my way away from me.
Well,
if anyone's...
Capone steps to the side. He wants to watch this go down. He may not know everything, but what happened to you allowed your father to step into Capone's world. It moved him up in the ranks, and he stands here now because of, I wouldn't even call it a sacrifice, because of what he did to you. So he, Capone's like, he just steps to the side. He even helps, like, move Lily a little bit to give some space to the situation.
He just leans over and whispers, his mom's also the chief of police.
Oh, God. Capone's eyebrows raised, like, and what do you do when you get to him, I guess? Are you going in for a punch?
I do one of those, like, grab by the shirt collar and just lift him up things.
He laughs. It's good to see you, boy. I didn't know you'd run away to New Orleans.
I'll come up behind Joey and kind of, like, pat him on the arm.
I'm just like growling. I'm like snarling with my teeth open.
I'm just gonna stay close and watch.
I was not expecting this. Okay.
Bertrand is just looking him in the eye and just, no.
Please don't. Capone, in that moment of tension where everything kind of sits in silence.
Yeah.
Capone reaches over and puts a hand on your shoulder. Definitely not a threatening hand, just kind of almost very fatherly. And he says, "Kid, I promise you, I'll give you a chance to kill him, but not until I'm done with my business, yeah?"
Why should I listen to you, old man?
Thank you for that love out there. He says,
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to me, but I'll go ahead and tell you, if you mess up this operation, I will kill you. So why don't you put the lion away? Let's deal with business. And then, when we're done, you can tear at him. I prefer to have you on my team anyways. And he looks you dead in the eyes when he says that. Your father looks shocked at that information, like...
Yeah. I kind of just, like, flick him down. You know, I don't let him down easy. And I straighten myself up. I look at him and say, "All right, Mr. Capone. You're lucky that my mother taught me something. Restraint. Even though this scum doesn't deserve it. I promise you. I promise everyone here. This man's dead."
Capone says,
Okay.
I was about to say, he looks at your dad too and says, you know how I feel about promises, Sam. Sam looks not happy. Maybe he should not have come along. Capone again puts a very ginger hand on Lily, and he kind of looks at all of you and he says, I know you don't know me, but somehow you got roped in here with this lucky lady. Now, what is it that brings you all the way out here to the swamps?
What exactly brings you all the way out to the swamp here?
Ah, talk, I see. And he comes over to you, kind of, to shorten the distance. And he says, I'm here because I'd like to do business with the Moiseys.
The Moises are already doing business with us, so I guess you might be short of luck on that one.
He says, I heard the Moiseys got enough booze stored away that they could keep Chicago liquid. Have you heard such a thing?
I'm going to stay extremely quiet.
I'm
He
just
says-
gonna lean down and light a cigar.
Capone's like, ah, good man. And he reaches in his pocket, like pulls one out too, and lights it up with you as you stand there. His face glows red with the embers of the end of the cigar, and he says, so, none of you would happen to know how to get to the Moiseys, would ya?
What do they say? If you know how to do something, you don't do it for free.
Oh, well, if you're worried about money, I can give you money, kid.
I don't think it's money we're really concerned about right now.
Well, what is it there, Sly, that it is you want so badly?
Well, I know we all want the preacher man.
This preacher man, that's the second time. Who is this fella?
He might be responsible for a couple dead Moises.
Well, now, I was gonna create a few dead Moises. You gonna blame me?
Well, when they supply my my establishment.
Oh, I see.
Depends.
You, I see. So you, supplied by the old gal and her family.
It's the only thing worth drinking in this shithole.
I've heard it's even better than some of the stuff I'm getting coming into Chicago. And more importantly, my source has, dried up. So, we can go in here and talk business, or we can go in here and just get rid of the Moiseys, and I'll bring you in on the deal. You got yourself a, establishment that needs, liquid. If I got liquid, and you help me get it.
You know I'm never gonna turn a good offer down.
Smart
It's not how we
man.
wise guys act, you know. But problem is we still have a matter of revenge to get a hold of. And my good friend Bertrand back here, in particular.
He looks at Bertrand. And what is it you got against the Moiseys? Or this preacher man, whichever side you stand on.
I believe this preacher man need to go. He's causing too much problem here in Nolan.
Well, now, I didn't come all the way out to the swamps to not go meet myself a Moisey. So, I say we meet this old dame, and when we're done, we'll go hunt down this preacher man and take care of the problem, yeah?
What do I know about trying to get a this is something that came up like
Yeah,
back
and
in
we
the
just said,
first-
yeah, because you guys didn't decide to go out there. So, you know that the only...
what does Bertrand know about trying to get a hold of?
Yeah. So you know how to navigate there. It is through the swamps. You have to take a boat out to basically what is a sandbar where they live, like inside of the swamp area. So you could potentially navigate the group. You've been a few times. Killa's also been to this location a couple times. Mama Moisey doesn't make it very known, but she's not very mobile. So people have to come to her if they're going to do business with Mama. So you could easily boat. It's about a 10-minute, like, you guys would have to take 2 boats with your numbers. You guys could take 2 boats into the swamp, navigate the swamps, and be there in 10 minutes or so.
Okay. I know where I'm going. Not sure how everybody else is.
Two boats and two gods, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably just gonna follow Sly.
All right. So everybody loads up in a boat, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we can grab a couple of airboats.
Okay.
They do exist at this time.
I was about to say, I don't know how, like, good airboats would have been, but I guess that's they're probably something.
It's better than trying to row your way there.
I guess that's true. So we'll say that there are some airboats available. I mean, the Moiseys are well off, so they would have been able to afford some at least. They sent on the dock. So I'm guessing Bertrand's going to drive one of them. Does somebody else want to drive the other?
I'll drive it.
Okay, I would say Killa, you probably at least seen one of these boats before. So I am going to have both of you make that skill check, which I always forget what it's called. Tell me what it's called. Craig, this is why you're here, so my brain remembers.
This is probably expertise.
Expertise and
conveyances.
That's the one. Expertise, conveyances for driving.
Okay, so I don't have that, so I would roll
So, or you would basically just pull for your expertise
for my expertise.
if you don't have conveyances to go with it.
Okay.
So, let's hope it's a decent one.
Should we establish who's on whose boat, just in case?
That's a good idea. So, let's say Bertrand's gonna navigate one, Killa's gonna navigate the other, since they both actually know the swamp route. You guys pick which boat you hop in.
Actually, I'm on Bertrand's boat.
I'm with Joey too, so.
All right.
You pulled really horrible cards last week, so I feel like you're the safest bet.
All right. So go ahead and make your flips for this check. Okay.
Probability manipulation.
Ooh. Yeah. That's actually, yeah, we can do that. So you can, when you see that maybe she's not going to do so hot. What are some of the ways that you can do that? Tell us about this cool power you have.
Basically, I just make someone a little lucky.
All right.
I just sort of, I think I actually, for this, I pull a card out of my sleeve and hand it to her.
Okay.
It's sort of sparkling faintly, and if she takes it, like, the sparkles sort of fade away.
Cool.
That's cool. Thank you.
So now, I believe you get an additional, you get to pull a card. You can also, don't forget, you can use Moxie as well.
Alright. Get one more card. No, that's worse.
That is worse. So that would have been basically what she did, was she took your top card. So in terms of the power of the probability, what she did was she looked at the top of anyone else's deck and placed it in their discard. So that original 7 would have been discarded, and the 3 became another opportunity basically for the same draw, but it was worse. So you're welcome to use a Moxie now if you would like to potentially redo it. As for Bertrand, is that where you would like to stop there, friend, on your card draw?
No, I'm gonna spend a Moxie.
Do it.
I don't have any written down, so.
Only slightly better.
You should start every game with 2.
Oh, okay. 3.
3. I'm sorry, 3.
Alright, so I'll spend 1.
Let's see if we can't help you.
Come on.
Because the last thing you want is to start sinking in the swamp. You guys could die before you even get there. Just not at all what you
Thanks
want.
to your sniper. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. So the good news is because both of you knew where this location was and have been here before, the skill check was a little lower. I dropped it down some, and both of you succeeded. Probably mostly thanks to the luck of the strange disappearing card that the lucky lady next to you. So in terms of Capone, he did hop in with Killa. So he's in with Killa and Lily, along with his right-hand man, Silver Dollar Sam. The rest of you went into Bertrand's boat? The other 3 of you? Am I to understand that? Okay, cool. So yeah. Joey and Big Sly. Yeah. As you navigate the swamps, the boats kill most of the general like noise of the swamp, but as you go deeper into it, the bugs get louder. There are multiple alligators, I wouldn't say sunning themselves, but out of the water on the banks waiting for the sun to hit this morning. And the boats daftly navigate their way across the water top, the gross green algae that sits along with it, and somehow Bertrand and Killa manage to miss all the major roots of the trees and hidden embankments. And you guys begin to come into a clearing as you kind of come through this thick tree coverage of the bayou. And as you pull out the other side, you can see it. Not only all of the stills, but the Moisey residence, the farm, is what they call it. And all along this flat bayou, you can see the stills popping up. This is not 5 or 6 stills. They have more like 30 or 40. This is a much larger operation than any of you could have possibly imagined, which is why it's such a secret that people don't know this location. They're everywhere. They just litter the horizon line, and smack dab in the middle, sitting on a piece of kind of island, soggy island piece, is their home on stilts, a large storage unit, and who's got the best perception? Actually, all of you could basically roll, or I say roll, all of you could make a trait check to see what's happening, because there is a lot of activity on the shores of their residence, we'll call it. And if you have any kind of skills that will help, you should have that as well to add to your card count. Ooh!
I'll sit on that.
Yep,
seems pretty
good. Oh! My goodness.
I'm good.
Okay.
Clubs are complications, though.
They are. All right.
That's true, but I don't feel like I'm going to get any higher than a queen.
So I was about to say, that's pretty good. So there is a complication there for you. Joey's good on just like a really good solid check. Okay. So, Sly, you don't see it. Lily, you notice off in the distance. Thank you out there. You notice off in the distance that there is definitely some activity of multiple people. Bertrand, this is strange because every time you've ever been out here, the Moiseys run a large-scale operation, but they do not have a lot of people that work for them. And they definitely do not have as many boats as are docked on the shoreline of their little private residence.
Mm.
Joey and Killa, you see that there's a few things happening. They are loading things onto these boats, large barrels probably, and everybody wears a set of, like, I call them robes, but they're basically like a tunic, matching tunics, and in the middle stands a very that's what I'm looking for, a very robust figure. Killa, with your queen and the complication that goes with it, you immediately notice as you guys are speeding up on these boats that this is the exact same shape, you could say, or silhouette of the preacher man who killed the child right in front of your eyes. And more importantly, he looks up from loading a barrel and makes eye contact with you.
Oh, fuck.
And you hear Capone over, the raging like winds behind you. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for all those that love.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Our hooch cup is almost full.
That's amazing.
Thank you. He makes eye contact with you, and Capone over this roaring fans behind you goes, I thought this was a small operation.
I'm gonna nudge him. It's the preacher.
Who do you nudge?
Whoever's next to me.
Oh, okay. So you guys would hear, Lily, you would hear her say that, and so would Capone, and probably not the person next to him. But Capone goes, well, what is he doing out here?
Kill him, probably. This doesn't sound right. This isn't right. I don't like it.
Bertrand, you see the activity. You don't recognize the preacher, but you can definitely tell something's wrong. This is not the Moiseys operation. This is not how they do business.
Mm-hmm. This is the preacher. How far away is he?
You guys are coming up pretty fast. You guys are about 120 feet out in and you guys, it's open area, and you guys are just headed straight for what is their kind of makeshift docks.
Okay.
But like how far away, roughly?
About 120 feet or so, at the moment.
All right.
If we're in a better position, I would suggest shooting him from where we are.
Could just shoot the still.
Well, I can do that. You want me to get him or the still?
I mean, if you shoot a still, they're probably all gonna go. So.
Then we lose the still.
Yeah, I'll aim for him.
All right, so who are you shooting for? The preacher himself?
Yeah.
Okay. First things first, we did hit the sub goal. You guys, thank you so much. So I'm gonna make things happen for all of them. So here's what we're gonna do. There is some serious business, obviously, going down here along this, on the Moisey property. You guys give me options in chat of what you think happened to Mama Moisey. Tell me what you think happened to Mama Moisey, and I will use your input to affect the game. Here we go, and probably make bad things happen to everyone. So you're going to take a, a shot at the preacher. Alrighty.
A little luck for this too.
Yeah, sure. You see her, because you're gonna have to let go of the boat, which means like it'll shut down. The propeller will, and the boat will begin to like slow. But I'm guessing you stand up and like take aim with your gun, Killa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a sniper rifle,
Perfect.
so I'll get low in the boat, and get out the rifle.
Mhm.
Line it up, get my shot. How many? Okay, so how many am I gonna pull for this?
I was about to say, so it's going to be that would be your agility, right? Yeah, it's agility based.
And then
Agility guns.
Agility guns. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 5 cards.
Probability manipulation.
Yep. And then as you go to like take aim, Lucky Lily helps you out again. So what are you gonna do with your probability manipulation? Would you like to see her card, take her first card again? Or I was about to say there's a few things you can do. Oh, okay. Instead of standard effect, place the top. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll let Lily decide if she wants to. Do you want to? Yeah, basically it's a boost for you to be able to take that card or leave it for her.
Okay. So my first card is an 8.
You okay with an 8? I'm not sure. You should stick with an 8. I don't think the 8 can hit any defenses.
No.
An 8 will hit the slowest person out there.
Correct.
8 is a moderate task.
So basically what you can do is get rid of it and draw another card.
Yeah,
Okay.
if their agility is 1 and 8 hits them. Red Joker.
Red.
Blam.
Okay, so for everybody at home who is familiar with the dice system, we have nat 1s and nat 20s. In this game, we have the red Joker and the black Joker. The red Joker is bad things happen, right? Did we set that up?
Yep.
All right, you fire off. The shot rings true. Dead. And you watch as the bullet pings directly into his forehead and does absolutely no damage to him. It doesn't even pierce the skin. He bleeds none. And now everybody is now alerted that all of you are pulling up on the shorelines.
It's quiet. Yeah, it's not a very loud gun.
No,
but...
yeah, no, it's more of the fact that you just shot their leader in the forehead and he took no damage from it. Well now, Capone, Capone goes, that was a solid shot. That should have killed him.
What the hell?
I get excited. I kind of take it like a deep breath, being like, "Oh yeah, all right, here we go. Okay, I probably like, oh, I'm gonna have to do some work today. no more getting your car unstuck today, eh?" So I'm like stretching,
And
ready.
I can't. I'm like looking at my gun.
Honest work today.
And like looking at the guy. I'm looking at my gun. Like
Sorta.
that's not right. How did that?
So tell me, are you pulling the boats up, or are you guys going to stay? Like, what is the plan with the boats? So I know what the travel situation is.
If it's any consolation, it probably still hurt a little.
Fucking better have.
I'm like trying to like make you feel better about it.
It's gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna
If it's anything like me, it would have hurt a little bit. Still would have hurt a little bit.
Slots. I'm gonna get the boat up to dry ground.
Okay, yeah, you pull it up, and as you do, you kind of come between two other boats. These are definitely, man, they're gonna need men to actually get them where they're going. But they are loaded. I'd say these boats house about 8 people, 2 men apiece, plus all of the goods that they have on it. Which is clearly the alcohol. And as you pull up on the shore, you hear the preacher man yell out to everyone, "Get the boats back! Do not let this stop our plan!" He yells out. And you watch as he fits a glove onto his hand. A strange glove that seems to have cables and wires laced all in it. And more importantly, he reaches into his pocket, and you watch as he pulls out a syringe of this blue liquid, and he jams it in his neck and forces all of the blue liquid into him, and you watch as it courses through his veins. You can see it through his skin, and he like begins to like hulk out a smidge. The glove, as he does that, like pops a little bit with electricity. What does the other boat do, Killa? Do you pull up alongside Bertrand?
Yeah, I'll pull up, and checking on Capone, to make sure that he's okay.
Well, you watch Capone as soon as you get close enough to the shoreline. He makes a running jump. More agile than you expected. Definitely not what you planned on underneath that 3-piece suit and pocket watch. And when he hits the beach or hits the kind of ground, it makes a very loud thud. As if he might be stronger than you could have thought as well. And as he takes to the beach, the kind of cult members disperse, quickly trying to put things in. And the preacher man, after he, suits up or whatever, looks Capone in the face. And he says, "I see we've got the tip-top of criminals here. Now, what have I done to bring on such a character?" Capone does not like this very much. And he says, "I would like to know what you're trying to do with this operation." What do all of you do? They stand staring off, facing down one another on this swampy shoreline.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go invisible and get myself a good vantage point for sniping.
It's good.
I grab Joey, double time it, put Joey right next to the preacher man, and then I leave.
Okay.
Super speed. I grab him. I take him with me, which I can do.
Yep.
I get him right over next to. Actually, I'll do my lightning boost at the same time, so I'm trailing lightning behind me as I'm doing this. When I get over to him, I get a card flip on that.
Nice.
That does a point of damage to him as I trail lightning to the preacher.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Okay.
And then I deposit Joey right next to him.
Uh-huh.
And then I've got some movement left to me. I can continue on a ways, get a little ways away from them.
Nice.
And let Joey go to town.
Okay. While Capone is clearly trying to have a mob boss conversation with his preacher man, Joey, and there's Joey, the wind passes by everybody, and you're right, this little streak of lightning, maybe it hit his glove, it shocks back at him, but he says, the blue liquid still flowing through his neck veins, and down into his arms. You can see it. His muscles pulsate. What about Lucky Lily and Big Sly?
How far away are we from this scene?
So they stand on the beach about 20 feet-ish from you. Both of these windboats have docked, or I say docked, have kind of run up along the shore.
Does this preacher man have any of those syringes with green liquid in them?
Not that you can see, but at his waist, you can very readily see is a gun. Some kind of dart gun. And the darts have an orange liquid in them.
Or, yeah, orange. I meant orange.
I love watching Craig's face as he's figuring this out, because he wrote this game. It's tickling me. Yeah, so he has these,
I don't know everything, but I have a feeling I know.
He has these, like, yeah, and there's about 4 or 5 of them, like, lined up as if they're the ammo for this gun, key gun.
I mean, whenever it's fictionally appropriate, I'm saying lights out and punching the
Okay.
man.
When you... okay. You're standing right next to him, and him and Capone are clearly having a conversation. I say conversation. They're having short bursts of sentences back and forth.
Having words.
They're having words, we'll say. The preacher man seems to be monologuing, as preachers and bad men are wont to do. And, you hear him say a few things that stick out to you. First off, he looks right at Capone and says, it's all of you. And he points at all of you, including you next to him, as if he's not concerned with you standing there, Joey, next to him.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's like, he kind of looks at you and he says, he goes, because you're here, because of you, crime runs rampant. And this poison, and he points all around to these stills, get into the mouths of the people. And he's like, they forced me to make them. And he points all around, knowing that he probably also engineered all the stills that you see as well. And he says, and I am here to stop it. And he reaches for the gun at his hip, and points it straight at Capone, with this orange dart in it.
I want to use my acid stream with liquefied boost to liquefy the dart from the gun. That's possible.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, what are you doing?
I took the minor power acid stream when I leveled up, and I want to use the liquefied boost to liquefy the dart.
Okay, so the dart's actually in the gun. If you're gonna like acid on it, does it have to be? It has to be liquid that you turn into acid, correct?
Instead of standard.
She's creating acid.
Non-stone.
Oh, okay. If you're creating acid, it probably also eats the gun. Let's see how well you do on this. I'm gonna let you. The gun's not really gonna fight back. It's just in his hand. But I would like to see this.
The power check. So what do I get?
So, that power, what is that power acid? That's really cool. I was hoping somebody took that power, because I think it's just the coolest power. That's the power I would have taken.
Hey, Chelsea, do you want the heads up on targeting small objects?
Yeah, what is the 411 on that, friend?
Generally speaking, objects are going to be based, you set a target score to hit them based on how their size and how fast they're moving. The smaller they are, the higher the target score. The faster they're moving, the higher the target score. So this is a very small object that's not really moving at all. So
okay,
and your normal target score range is 8 up to ace.
Right.
So
okay,
something middling in there probably.
Yes. Okay. All right.
It's not moving.
Right. So this is just a power check versus in this case. It's not moving. He's holding it very still, and he's dead focused on Capone and has not even noticed Lily in this case. So if you're going to kind of bolt up here and make some acid happen, her power check is based on her... How many cards does she pull?
Whatever her power rating is.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, so if your power rating for that is 1 or 2, and then any... Yeah, against it. Oh... Oh, let's see here. Here we go. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. This could really botch my plan. Well, friends. Well, friends, that should be kept because you also got the spade. So, okay.
Spade's a boon.
Spade is a boon. And it's also suit damage on... Okay, so here's what happens. Not only does it take out the dart, but you manage to begin to... the gun begins to melt in his hand as he points it. You watch the orange liquid... It destroys it. The acid does. Whatever chemical was inside of it. The gun melts away, and he he holds his hand up. The glove is on the other hand. He holds his hand up, and it begins to not only eat away at the gun, the poison, but also his flesh. He seems to be taking took more damage than expected from that. He was not expecting acid. I'm gonna be really honest with everybody. So I would say this 100% puts us into combat. Joey's going to get that chance to punch him in the face. So I'm going to have everybody get their our initiative order ready to go. So let's do initiative polls. There don't seem to be any cultists around. They seem to be doing other things. Killa, I will let you know from your vantage point. You can see that the boats are going out into the swamp opposite directions.
Okay.
You would be able to pick quite a few of them off from your, we'll just say your height. Well, you climb maybe the hut or something. So you would be able to ping a few of them if you wanted to try to stop some of the boats that are exiting the scene.
Okay.
Just give you that setup here, okay?
He was intending to do all of this with the acid and just pretending that she wasn't at all surprising herself.
Right.
And say, they don't call me lucky for nothing.
I love it. And he's like, "Wah!" As this probably is like flesh, like melting and pouring off of his hand. All right. So everybody do me a favor. Once you have drawn for your initiative, let me know what your final was.
It's agility, right?
One card.
One card.
Add your agility +1 if you have the sense skill.
Correct.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I thought it should be 2 cards for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, why is it one? And it's like, oh, that's senses.
Right,
That's
sense.
right. That's why I got senses. Yep. Cool. I'll take my clubs.
So add my agility, which is 4.
Okay.
11.
I don't know if it's gonna do anything.
Nice.
I'm definitely doing penetration boost here.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Not on the initiative, but you can elsewhere. And in the case of old Preacher Man, his agility is not, I don't think, too terribly high, but okay. Okay. He chooses his...
Oh. Yeah.
He chooses his card to play. I gotta come down, sorry. Everybody ready to flip? Oh, he did not do so hot. Okay, so let's just quick go down the line. Let's just start with Eric. What was your final?
King of clubs.
Wow! Okay, so I'm gonna guess Joey goes first. I also have to do Capone, but I guess I'll pull for him in a second. Lily.
I have a 10 of hearts.
Okay, nice. Lily. And Sly got a 10 here of...
Spades.
Nice. Okay. So Sly will go first on that. Killa. What? She got a 5. And
5.
Spades.
I got a 5 as well, but her agility's gonna beat mine.
Yes. Okay. So, and Lily and Sly, which one of you has the higher agility?
I have 3 agility.
Definitely not me.
Okay, so we'll say then definitely Lily will go first then, with Bertrand going. Let's see, the Preacher, if he survives the combat round, he will go next. And just for the sake of it, I need to make sure that I pull for Capone, and his agility is a. Okay.
I'm strongly considering just throwing him into Capone for 2 birds, 1 stone situation here, but I think I will.
Okay, well, Capone's total with his agility was a 7. So, in order, it will be our lion. So, Joey will go first, followed by Lily, Sly, Capone, Killa, Bertrand, and then the Preacher. Okay, so Joey, what is the first thing you do?
Well, I kind of have a rules question because just fictionally what I'm doing is I'm going to try to like punch him a little bit, but really I'm just trying to punch him to grab him to throw him through the stills. So the question I have is, what is the number of stills? Because I can only throw through a certain amount of inches worth of material.
Oh.
I want to make sure I can go through all 3 stills with this person.
The stills they're basically converted silos is what they are. Like those
Right.
Kind of short squat silos, not that you put like corn in, but that you might put grain or something else in, that have been put up on stilts. There's about 40 of them total, but you could line potentially maybe 2 or 3 of them up.
Cool. That's what I'm doing. I'm throwing as many as I can at them.
Let's say
So-
you could probably easily get through 2, but depending on your card, I might say you get through a 3rd one.
Okay. Well, I'm using that power, and then my question here is, I guess would my damage boost apply here if I use it? Because it's like fisticuffs, including thrown weapons, attack deals +2 hits.
I mean, you're using him as a weapon, so
I know that's what
sure, sure. I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'm really angry about, and I just want this person out of my life right now.
But basically, it's
for all the harm they've caused.
You're gonna grab him, strength fisticuffs him, and throw him through stuff.
Yeah.
With the damage boost and the penetration boost, so you'll be down 2 cards, but you'll do +2 damage, and you'll put
throwing them.
I was gonna say the +2 damage will help a lot.
Through
Yeah.
things that might have other effects.
Yeah.
Like throwing it through things.
Exactly. Cool. So I'm doing that.
Okay. Against.
All right. Well, I think I'm actually okay.
Blow him up.
I was gonna say you might actually do this.
I think I'm going to. I'm not going to push my luck with an ace of spades.
Oh, that's right. He did inject himself, though. Okay. Good luck on this.
Yeah, I did. That's.
Oh my God! Okay, well.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn it!
I basically just natural 20'd it.
You did.
Viewers, everybody, that is arguably the best card in the game.
Yeah, that is the best card that you can get.
The black Joker is really good too because it gives you an extra action. But the Ace of Spades actually gives you more boons because it's an ace, which is a boon, and it's a spade, which is.
So, why don't you tell me exactly how this plays out here, friend? What exactly would you like to happen?
Well, for starters, he has that power fist or whatever, right?
I guess I'm putting a glove
grab
on.
that, immediately break it, and with his hand in it, grab him by the throat, and just say, yeah, I just say, "Lights out, preacher man," and I just throw him, like throwing his throat through as many of those buildings as I can.
Okay.
Like just Kool-Aid man through those walls.
Okay. Well, when
What
you
happens?
crush the glove, electricity does spurt out of it.
That's fine.
Around. So, we'll get to that here in a second. But it comes off like when you sling him, it comes off in your hand. So you've been left with the broken, like sparking.
Oh,
glove.
sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
You toss him. He hits one, puts a hole through his still. It pours out booze. Second one, more booze. Third one, his body doesn't leave a third still. You guys see him like doing that. You threw him like 150, 60 feet probably, if not
Yeah.
more. One of the stills actually like leans afterwards. There was so much weight behind the toss. He does not leave the opposite side of the third still. You can imagine he is probably still on the inside. The damage on that, though, my goodness. How much did you do total? Because that's the... Is it sweet damage or
Yeah.
color damage? Sweet.
Suit.
Suit damage, I'm sorry.
Right. So,
That's
It is sweet damage, though. 4. Okay.
Right.
+2 boons. So
Oh,
if
I
you-
forgot my boon. Yeah.
if he wants it all in if he wants all the boons in damage, although maybe one of those boons is him getting the glove.
I was going to give you the glove because he grabbed that hand,
oh.
but yeah, I'm going to give you the glove.
Okay. I'm more interested in. I probably would have. Okay, Joey probably would have just destroyed the glove. Like.
Yo,
just
yeah, you like
in a-
crushed it and
I'm
like,
so-
yeah.
But I would hold it. Yeah, I would still hold it. That's fine. The crinkled up. I'll
Mess
give
of
it to.
it.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I'll probably give it to Bertrand. Bertrand could probably get it working.
Somebody here will
that's not
get it
really-
working.
That's not really my objective right now. My objective right now is to make a preacher man go meet his god. I'm expediting that process.
You are. So are you going to do the 4 or the 6 damage?
Or 8.
I'm doing.
Or 8? Oh, that's right. It's 8 because
2
it's
boons.
2 boons. Holy cow.
So how can you remind me how I'm getting 2 boons here besides the damage boost? Oh, but is the penetration boost also counting as
Oh,
extra
no,
damage?
no, hold it. I take it back. 10 points of
10
damage.
points.
4 for the suit.
Yeah.
2 for the damage boost. 2
right.
for it being an ace. 2 for it being spades.
Right. And my fisticuffs only gives me a card. It doesn't actually confer any additional bonus.
Correct.
Right. Your fisticuff skill just gave you more cards to flip.
Correct.
That
Okay.
was
It's because roller crit. Just making sure I'm not missing
ridiculous.
anything else. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's 10 points of damage before he reduces any of that, if that's what Chelsea wants to do.
It's up to him. Yeah. So would you like him to take?
No.
Oh,
Chelsea,
I get to
wasn't
choose?
saying- It's up to you. He has Moxie. The preacher does.
Oh.
And you can spend that
that's
Moxie
true.
to reduce damage if you so choose. Just
I
like-
would say in his current state and at an ace, there's no way he had time to even try to reduce. But
Okay.
you don't see his body come out the other side. It stops, and when that happens, everybody, Capone included, like Capone and your father, like turn and look at you. Does your father know that you're a caper?
Does now.
Because the shock on his face,
no.
yeah, he's like, and he turns and looks, and Capone smacks him on the back and goes, "Your boy, he's a strong one," and he claps you on the back after you do
Yeah,
that.
I think there's that moment where like I like threw him there, and so like I'm like in this sort of pose, like I just like threw the guy, and I look at him and say, "I ain't his boy." And I look at my dad.
And he says, "So, this was the preacher man everybody was so upset about?"
Apparently, I just shrug.
Kill,
Here, I thought
yeah.
I was going to have a good fight today. Had to do some honest work.
It is Killa. We're going to just cut to you because you're at a different location and your target is different. You watch and you can hear it behind you. As somebody has hit multiple stills off in the distance. You don't know who, and you hear that that sound of electricity go off before it happens. But you are looking out over the rest of the bayou as I would say about 6 or 7 boats are taking off into the distance with barrels of moisey product on them.
Okay. I will definitely start taking out. I don't want to sink it. I just want to stop whoever's basically driving the boat.
So there are some of the smaller ones only have one. So we'd say, how many did I say? There were 6 of them. So we'll say 3 of them have a single person like rowing, and 3 of them have 2 people rowing. They're
Okay.
like larger boats.
Okay. I guess the smaller ones will be easier to.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you go ahead and get a shot off while this is going down on the shore.
Okay.
Against their, like, nobody.
Okay, so a jack of diamonds. I think that'll probably do for.
Against their body. Okay. That will, in fact, do it. Again, your sharpshooting skills do not fail you. This time, though, it goes right through his head like it's supposed to.
I pat my gun. I'm like, good boy.
It's not broken, yeah. And you watch his head explode off in the distance, easily hundreds and yards out from you. His body goes limp in the boat, and the boat stops moving forward. It now bobs.
We can go get the boats later.
What's happening down on the shore? Everyone's like, well, we did it, right?
So, if I threw a match at the still that the preacher man went into, do I think it would just light the alcohol that's spilled out and not the other stills?
The alcohol is like pouring out along the top of the water, all along the base of the stilts that they stand on. So it would hit all 3 of the ones that now have giant holes in them, basically. Would be like a radius effect, but just probably those 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'll just walk up to like the edge of the alcohol, take out like a matchbook, and just flick a match into the alcohol. That up, like, just in case.
And it burns, kind of just like you would pour like alcohol or gasoline on the top of water, and it sits there and burns the stills. The one that was already a little crickety goes down first. Second one quickly goes down. The one that he hit does eventually, but it is the last one standing, and it burns like a beacon in this like early morning sunlight here in the middle of the swamp. He does not come back from it eventually collapsing. If you guys stand there and just watch it burn. Yay! Killa, you hear the sound of flames behind you. You can see the embers like burning out of your peripheral vision as the boats get ever further away. Would you like to make another shot?
Yes, I would.
I thought you would. Get as many as you can, as quickly as you can.
Yeah. I'm just taking them out. Okay.
So I'm guessing another single person boat?
Yeah, I'll do another single boat. Okay, a 5 of hearts is not going to do it. 7 of hearts is not going to do it.
I was about to say, yep, you could Moxie this one.
I didn't pull out all my cards.
Oh, I see.
I was just flipping the ones I had left over. Okay. 9 of diamonds. Let's see. Diamonds are good?
Diamonds are, yeah, they're solid.
Okay.
They're solid. What did you roll, a 9? Or
9.
what did you pull, a 9? Okay, a 9. You don't get a headshot this time.
Yeah.
It goes through like a large piece of his like chest, burst open. But he does go. It does. How much damage does your gun do? Based on, is it color or suit?
It doesn't say. Sniper rifle.
Rifle, suit +2.
Suit +2. So, oh yes, here it is, right in front of me. Yep, suit +2. So, the suit you got was diamond, so 4. This guy, dead in the boat. A second boat now sits bobbing, with barrels in it inside of the swamp.
4 clubs is not good enough.
Do one more.
10, I don't know. That's not better.
Nope.
Hang on, I didn't have all my cards out again. So I have lots of
Oh, is it
cards.
4 for the...
I have 5.
Oh, wow.
Shooting. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because that's, like, your thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah!
Again, headshot. So, you guys hear the sound of the sniper rifle. A sniper rifle, during this time would be extraordinarily loud. Blam, the first one. Fire goes up. Blam, blam, 2 more shots. You don't know what Killa is shooting at. You don't even know where she's at. All you see is a floating sniper rifle on the top of the house. And shooting off into the... Oh, are you visible?
No,
Oh,
I actually have the boost of, I will use the boost
Okay.
of not becoming visible while I attack.
Great. So you stay
Ooh,
invisible, nice. But the gun kind of remains. You guys see it off on the top of the Moisey hut. Capone looks around at what is now chaos. Standing on the edge of this embankment here. And he turns around and looks at the Moisey house and he says, I'm gonna guess that old mama ain't around anymore. He kind of smiles and he says, so, want to take bets of how she died? As if he finds somewhat of a pleasure in the idea that they've already killed her off for him.
Is my dad still there?
Oh, he's standing right there, shocked at all of this.
Yeah, I'm going. I gotta go after him.
Go get your daddy. Go get your dad.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm killing him here.
Yep, for sure. Capone does not stop you. He stands and watches.
He gets out of my way.
Oh, yeah. He's not
Cool.
going to stop you unless then somebody else wants to. And your father kind of in a slight voice, he goes, son, no. Hey, son, I didn't mean nothing by it. Look where it got me. You can come on board with me and
Good.
Capone.
That's good. Begging is a good look for you, Pops.
He goes, son, why didn't you tell me? I didn't know. I didn't know he was a caper.
You don't know nothing about me. Never cared to pay attention. Only cared about lining your pockets.
He says,
This
but,
punk over here.
yeah, but look where we are now. You can have anything you want. Come back with me. Come back with me to Chicago. Let me show you.
I want my pride back, Pops, and I can't get that back because of you. And I grab his arm.
Ah! Okay. That would be, opposed. check. I mean, he'll want to pull away because he doesn't want you to like grab him.
Totally.
Yeah, he's gonna make his is an agility.
Strength.
Yeah. Choosing cards. All right, here we go. Okay. Just for fun of hoping he can do better. He still failed. So he is a quick little sly dude. He quickly rips his hand away, but it is not enough to get free of your just wrathful grasp.
Also, this is ungodly luck. I'm just...
Yeah, it is. You're gonna get here to the end of the game and pull like all of your 2s at one time.
Yeah, that's exactly... So I'm just gonna ride this out right now.
So you grab him and he goes, ah! You probably like bend a wrist or something.
Yeah, I want him to fall onto his knees, right? Because I'm like...
Sure! Yeah.
Cracking his,
yeah, he goes, ah!
Yeah.
He is on his knees looking up at you.
Can't believe I ever trusted you. I'll beg. Beg for your life.
I'm sorry. He says, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean nothing by it. I thought it could be an opportunity for the both of us.
There's no opportunities for both of us. There's no promises you can make. There's no pacts between a lion and men. I'd kill him.
Okay, how would you like to do that? Are you gonna, like, punch him to death? Are you gonna shoot him?
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab him by his throat, just crush his and let him choke.
Alright, I'm just gonna let you make a strength fisticuff for this.
Okay.
Because he does, he's at full health, so I need to make sure you can, yeah.
It's not that I'm not in a position to just do it after, like, breaking his arm or,
Probably,
like...
I would say, okay, so you have him, you grab him by the throat, he goes, please, son, don't, you can, we can live together, I'm so sorry.
No.
Crunch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His body goes limp in your hands,
As he's dying and stuff, I say, I can never have my pride back. I may never get retribution. But I'll settle for vengeance. I crack it.
Cold. That's badass.
Cold, man.
Yeah, I killed my dad.
Up close and personal, looking in his eyes.
Yeah,
That's cold.
Absolutely.
Capone stands and watches you do this entirely.
Absolutely. My back's to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He watches the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
He smiles when it's all done.
Yeah.
And he says, I was not looking forward to coming to New Orleans. And he looks over at Lucky Lady and says, but it seems that her luck rubs off on all of us. Now that was quite entertaining. Can you do that to anybody?
I don't answer him, but I'm paying attention. I don't answer him, but I don't, it doesn't look like I'm saying no.
Yeah. He walks over, you know how dudes will like put shoulder to shoulder so that you're not like whispering, but you're like almost face to face, facing opposite directions, and he says, I too know what it's like to be strong. He grabs your shoulder and begins to squeeze. Simply not against you, but showing you his strength, and he says, come work for me. Let me give you back your pride.
What's in it for me? What's in it for my current employer? I looked at Sly.
Oh, he looks over, he says, oh. He turns and he says, Sly, what do you know about, brewing moonshine?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know shit about brewing moonshine,
But you're a good businessman.
yeah, I am.
He looks over at Bertrand and he says, you know a lot about brewing moonshine, hmm? And he looks up at the top of the house and he says, I know you're up there. Come on down. Let the cowards run.
I'll climb down.
He kind of gathers all of you near the edges. He goes over and kicks with a very fierce, forceful kick. The door in. And you see Mama Moisey laid out on a table. This old, kind of rickety woman who clearly lost her life very recently. They have nailed her to the wooden table in the center of their small shack. And her throat has been slit to match that of her daughter's. And as Capone stands in the doorway looking at this, turns and looks at the five of you, and the body of the man he brought with him, he sees something. You watch him, like, almost look past all of you, as a crispy body floats close to the shore. It is that of the preacher man. Dead as a doornail. But it does float up to you. And along in the water next to him float the orange syringes that the fire does not seem to have affected at all.
Absolutely grabbing one of those syringes and look at it.
Yeah, there's about 4 of them or so.
Anti Joey tool.
Yeah.
Try to snag
well-
and slip them into her pocket.
Okay, so you want to do it like kind of stealthily, Lily.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say you're probably pretty good at that. And even if Capone saw you pick him up, he wouldn't care. At least not you, anyways. Killa, you walk over and grab one as well, you said?
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw one in.
Yeah, you like grab one. It's more like a dart, but it has like a canister on it that has this orange liquid in it. And Joey, you realize that in all of this aggression and anger, you totally killed your father with this, like, glove still crushed in one hand. And as things kind of dissipate, you realize that you've almost smashed this glove to smithereens, at least what was left of it. And Capone looks at all of you, standing there on the beach in this moment, and he says, "This is now my farm. Does anybody have a problem with that?" I can't stay here, and this lucky lady's got to get back to the lucky man that calls her a dame. But the rest of yous,
Oh,
I'm gonna give you a choice. You can work for me, manage this place, and make sure that my shipments get to and from Chicago. Or you can die.
well, I don't know, Joey. What do you want to do?
Lily says, it should be noted that this offer gives you 2 markets that you're selling to.
You noted that I was correct all along.
Oh,
I don't have a mind for business. I let Sly do that kind of talking.
He says, "You
What do
seem
you want?
real connected to this Sly fella. What do you owe him?"
Lawful employment.
You're all talking about me like I'm not fucking standing right here.
He goes, "I like you, Sly. Nothing gets past you." And he says, "All right. I am a man down, but if you are so inclined to stay with him, then you are now the protector of this farm, Joey. Nobody comes in or out of it that you don't say, or I don't say. And if they do, I expect you to do exactly what you did to him."
Sounds good to me. Like real, just like casual. Like,
Yeah.
All right. I'd be expecting a raise.
Oh, I don't want
What
you
is
to worry about money.
Responsibilities. New coat.
Oh, he says, "You could buy a closet of coats."
huh.
I'm amenable.
I'm real glad to hear that. And he walks over and picks up the last syringe out of the water. And he holds it up and he says, "Now, what do you bet this is?"
I don't know, but I don't like it.
He says, "Me neither. It makes me nervous. And it's not just the color."
But
I wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah, you're like, "I don't know, it's a syringe." He says,
Yeah.
"I'm going to take that with me." And he kind of tucks it in his pocket. About this time, you hear the sounds of something. Wind boats off in the distance. A large amount of them.
uh-oh.
Probably
Like-
20 or so.
I'm gonna start looking around. Climb up.
I was about to say, yeah, as you kind of get a higher point, there's probably like a willow tree or something that sits here on this little embankment. You kind of climb up and look off the edge, and it looks like there are somewhere between 10 and 20 of these wind boats blasting through the swamp, headed your direction. Probably the police.
I don't like this.
But we can't run and just lose all this profit, so.
Can't.
You-
There's some boats out there with stuff in them too. I took out a bunch of.
Yeah, Capone says, "I don't do cops." And he's like, "They're gonna come search this place." And he's like, "In 2 weeks' time, we can come back out here and start anew. They never know."
So we're just gonna leave all the stills here, or what?
He says, "Well, it's not like they're gonna walk away."
All right.
And he says, "Hurry, this way." And he says, "You said there were boats? Where?"
And I'll point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says, "Quick." And he makes a running dive into the water to get out to them. And Capone's like, he's not getting caught by the cops, and he starts swimming.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else want to join him?
It was just like, what about the boats we came in on?
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about those.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Bertrand goes and grabs one of those airboats.
Yeah.
It's good. So you grab an airboat. You guys grab airboats. Capone swims out. It doesn't take him very long. His stroke is strong and fast. And he mounts one of the boats and he begins rowing. He's not very far from what is basically tree coverage into the deeper area of the swamp. And he's not waiting on any of you.
Go.
Yeah, I'm getting out of there.
Yeah, I'll stick with everybody else.
Joey, and Sly, you guys also take wind boats?
Oh yeah, I'm going with Bertrand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. As
Sly, you're like, put my money.
I'm thinking about just blowing it up, man.
As you guys head kind of the opposite direction, away from the cops, Joey, you look back, and your mother leads the pack, of course, of the police that eventually easily dock in this area and begin looking around. The swamp is covered in blood, and the smell of alcohol and booze, and the last of the fire that sits on the surface that Lily left behind. The Capone, by the time you guys round the other side of this little island or sandbar, is gone. You do not see him anywhere. And the two of your boats speed off towards the horizon line. 3 days ago, each of you had your own interest. Now, you are the interest of a very important man. And he will not forget what it is you told him that you would do. Capone will be back to get what is rightfully his.
He'll be waiting for him.
And that is where we end this campaign of Capers.
Hey, Chelsea, can I throw this at you?
Sure you can.
As Bertrand's driving away on the airboat, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out Jolelle's ring that he took off her body when he found her dead. The Moisey sister that he was in love with, and whose family and she herself, of course, are all dead now. And Capone came in here planning to kill them himself, although the preacher man did all that for him. He turns the ring over in his hand a few times. He just quietly to himself starts to smile, and that's the moment when Bertrand Desprez starts plotting the death of Al Capone.
I don't think you're the only one of these 5 people that are currently plotting the death of Al Capone, but unfortunately, we have to end with no knowledge of what the orange liquid is, of why they were moving all the Moisey barrels elsewhere, and what is to become of that farm and the city of New Orleans in terms of their hooch supply. But that is a story for another day. I love that. I love it so much. I love it so much. I wanted to end on like nothing was like fixed. Everything is still in flux. So I feel like we achieved that. It's the gangster lifestyle. Nothing is ever done until you're dead, right, Joey the Lion? You killed so many people.
I was
You
like,
give vengeance such a bad rap. It feels great.
Like, I really want to get this story out of Joey. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this? Since we have a couple minutes, and I do want to take some time to let you guys do outros, we're going to go around, let everybody know where we can find you elsewhere, but also tell us, if you feel so inclined, something about your character that we may have hinted at, but was it completely explained? In terms of the story. So that may be a relationship thing, or you can simply tell us what you loved most about Capers. That works too. So why don't we start backwards? Let's go to Craig first. Craig, I know what you like about the game since I don't know you wrote it. But...
yeah, I like everything about it.
Yeah.
There's not a single word in it that I don't like.
But tell me maybe something we didn't know about Bertrand or that didn't come out about his backstory.
Well, I think I kind of hit on the big thing with Bertrand at the end there. I'm curious. I'm wondering if, as the person who designed the game, can I take a stab at a couple of things and perhaps reveal to all of my other players here and the viewers what was going on with that preacher? Because then it helps explain a little bit of something that's in the game, which might entice people.
So that was my plan. So I'll tell them all about what the preacher was actually doing. Yeah.
Can I throw one guess on? Well, I can throw a couple.
Yeah, throw some guesses out. Yeah, we'll have a chat about it.
All right, that glove was Tremgear.
It was Tremgear. So when Killa witnessed the boy die at the hands of the preacher, it's not because he was a caper. It's because he had developed what we call Trem technology. Which is basically a replication of caper powers for... for normal.
There's a subset of rules in the game that are optional that actually gives you the pseudoscience explanation of Caper's powers, which is in a newly discovered element called Trembium. And scientists have started to harness that and replicate powers with it. So you can have your Iron Man type character who's just really smart and builds really cool stuff.
Yep.
Rather than having their powers be...
So in this case, he had managed to engineer himself a glove, which basically does electricity damage, and killed the boy outright when he shot all that electricity through his body. That's the first piece of Trem gear that the preacher had.
And he was giving himself Trembium injections.
So so Trembium, right? Or Trembium.
Trembium.
So the shot he gave himself actually gave him super resilience. So he's also figured out a way to manufacture it to give people Capers powers as well, which is a whole game changer for basically, if there ever is a season 2, that's what we'll dive into, is what dynamic begins to change when we can give those powers to people. Or, in the case of his gun, take them away. You guys should be really glad that Kika made that kick-ass move, because if he had launched even one of those darts, you would have lost all your Caper's powers for 24 hours.
Oh, no!
That would be anti-Trembium, yeah.
Yeah. So the orange vial, that was actually in the very first episode. Remember the preacher gave his big spiel and he was talking to his congregation, he held up the orange vial. He had, again, manufactured this anti-Trembium, which basically takes away powers from Capers, which is... if more investigation had happened, or if we had another episode worth of scientific know-how, you would have also found out that every one of the barrels of booze that left has been laced with anti-Trembium. and is going out for shipment.
Fun. So that's my little thing. Next.
Yep. Next. Yeah, that's the fun thing. It's funny when I started talking to Craig about this game, one of the very first things, because I'm such a question-based person, and I hadn't finished reading the book, I was like, how do they get these powers? And he's like, well, there's this little section, and then I read the section, and I was like, oh my. Oh, this is juicy. So Mother of God, I'm inspired. So that's kind of what ended up happening. Is the long and short of the story is that the preacher man was an engineer. The Moises used him. If you had dug really deep into his backstory, you would have found out that his wife died of alcohol poisoning. And so he blames capers, who usually are the people that run your speakeasies and run the booze and stuff, for her death, along with everybody else that is addicted, if you would, to hooch. And he wanted to end it, and he felt the best way to do that was to manufacture an anti-powers drug and lace all the booze that the Moisers are putting out, so that everything that goes in your mouth takes your powers away.
That would suck.
That's okay. You've got like tons of barrels out there floating around now of antitritium hooch.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
No big deal. No big deal. Awesome. Let's move right along. Matt Fishmonger, tell us where we can find you online first, and then give us a little blurb about your character, something you really loved about Capers.
I am Mad Fishmonger. You can find me online as Mad Fishmonger. It's usually pretty easy. I do all kinds of stuff, and I don't know. I really liked Callisto. I think she had. I didn't get to shoot quite as much as I wanted.
I don't know. You nailed every one of those shots at the end. Like, you nailed every one of them. So
yes, all of my final shots were good, which is exactly what I wanted.
Well, and I had plans for you to have a shootout in an alleyway, but Joey here started tossing cars, and that went down the.
When in doubt, throw a car. It's every trope ever. When in doubt, throw a car. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to like have our really emotional kind of in character conversation. We did have sort of briefly discussed that Callie and Joey had dated briefly earlier in the game.
Yeah.
And what was going to come out that we didn't get a chance to discuss was that it was Callie dating Joey that made her realize that she was gay. And so she was like, she wanted to tell him, but she was like, how do I tell him this in a way that he won't be offended by it? Because it's not offensive.
Right.
She was going to be like, you were great. There was nothing wrong with you. So clearly there was some kind of other issue.
Right, just my preference.
Clearly something else going on. You weren't a bad boyfriend, but there was clearly something else going on for me. But and okay, I can explain that, but Callie does not have my vocabulary.
Sure. Callie, she doesn't really do people very well, so I get you.
She was just like, yeah, I can't be with you anymore, bye. And that was kind of it.
And peace out, yeah.
Yeah, so she was gonna, having sort of get involved with him again, she was gonna try and, explain herself, and I thought, okay, this is either gonna go, surprisingly well, or, hilariously bad.
Yeah.
And he would take it so bad and so wrong and just get super upset.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, where can we find you online, Mad Fish?
Yeah, you can find me at Mad Fishmonger, and I put a link in the chat, so you can follow that and find all my stuff.
Nice. Yeah, and do that. Support these awesome people that are here supporting my show. Before I hop to the next person, as we just talked, don't forget you can enter the giveaway. Craig has promised to give away a hard copy of Capers, which is a beautiful book. Beautiful. And a PDF as well tonight. So to enter that giveaway, you type !Capone, because, tonight was all about the big cheese himself. And Saverick, tell us who you are and where we can find you online, but also something maybe that we didn't learn about Big Sly, because he was a pretty secretive dude.
Yeah, yes, he was. As far as I'm concerned, you can find me on Twitter or Twitch, both at Saverick, or you can find me over at the Greyhawk channel currently, where I run Temple of Elemental Evil on Saturdays. And next month I'll be running some Birthright 5e, so keep an eye out for that. But as far as Sly goes, this is really the first time Sly's actually been tested. The thing with Sly is that he never earned anything that he did.
Oh.
So from the time that he took over the organization to this point now, he never once had to lift a finger to do it. He was always manipulating, with his powers, getting people to do what he wanted, essentially, because he didn't have to worry about it, So this is really the first time he got tested, and he's got a big bravado chip on his shoulder where he doesn't like weakness.
Yeah.
But of all people, he finds himself the weakest in the situation because outside of this, he can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's really great at manipulating people, so...
Yeah.
And honestly, it's one of those things where I thought about, I was like, man, if I get any character in a room alone with him, they're going to either spill the beans or do whatever he says. I can feel it now.
Absolutely.
Very cool, very cool. Yes, and go watch the Greyhawk channel and Saverick over there DMing. I will not be joining them this season, unfortunately. My schedule has just filled very quickly, but good stuff over there on Greyhawk. They are one of my other homes, so go show them a ton of love. Kika, where can we find you online? And tell us something that we may not, other than the other secretive stuff. Lily lives in constant secrecy, but what else about her may we not have picked up this time around?
Well, you can find me mostly on Twitter at twitter.com/KikiVO. That's the most reliable place to find out what I'm doing, because I'm on a whole bunch of different channels doing a whole bunch of different stuff. And I'm doing things that aren't Twitch related at all, even, so...
True story.
Yeah, so that would be the best place to find me, just twitter.com/KikiVO. Lily was kind of fun to think up. She is a trans woman who, Nucky was sort of... She's known Nucky for, like, ever, and he's been there for her no matter what, so she feels entirely loyal to him. If she thought Capone was gonna, like, do something bad to him, she would have probably just stabbed him right now.
Yeah.
But, given the situation, she thought siding mostly with Capone would be the best for her and Nucky in this instance, so she was kind of leaning really hard into that and acting like she was super loyal to Capone, while meanwhile she wasn't actually.
Yeah. She did it for Nucky. Yeah. Because Nucky also was kind of in bed with Capone, and, people owe people favors, so.
Yep.
Sometimes you gotta pay up. Yeah, very fun. I remember when you came to me with that, and you were like, I want to be, like, literally in bed with, like, a really powerful person. I was like, do I have a scheme for you? I know exactly how to make that happen. So, it was perfect. I loved it when you pitched that idea, so. And last but certainly not least, Eric Vulgaris, who played our literal lion-hearted Joey. Tell us where we can find you online, and other things you're doing, as well as something we may not have learned about Joey, though his family affairs got aired out pretty heavily, so.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love this game. It was super fun. I love playing Joey. I'm Eric Vulgaris on everywhere. I'm super active on Twitter. That's the best place to find me and keep track of everything. I'm also on the Greyhawk channel. That's also kind of my second home right now. I'm kind of in a sort of a lull between until the next year for all things holidays coming up and all that jazz. But yeah, I love role-playing games. Playing this game was super fun. So the best part about Joey was just how straightforward he is. I just went with I literally was like, I want to play basically Achilles. I'm gonna make Achilles, and it meets Marlon Brando from On the Waterfront. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. And so obviously, if it wasn't super clear, my dad is kind of set me up in a boxing ring. But he told me basically I wasn't like aware of it at the time, but like later on he told me, and I kind of put the pieces together. I basically threw a match, and by throwing a match, it got him super rich, but I lost all my pride and everything, and so I left the circuit. It's the reason why I became a caper, and like basically just fled to New Orleans to work at a bar. And I have a question for you, Severin. I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you manipulate me?
dun
Why I'm so
dun.
loyal to you?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Would you have done that to me?
You know, he probably would have done that to you.
At
I
least
know.
at first,
Okay.
probably. Wow,
Right.
that
I
changes
mean,
everything.
before he really trusted you, I would assume that he probably would have.
I know. I don't think I knew that. I don't think I was aware.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Man.
It's awesome.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
That is really interesting. Okay, very cool. Yeah, so there was clearly, when Eric pitched his character, there was all this family stuff, and he's like, dad this, and I was like, oh, okay, know who dad is, check. And then I also wanted, I wanted to bring this great character, and that's actually in the Capers book. So know that pretty much every character that I brought in, except for Silver Dollar Sam, came straight out of this book. I just put their storylines together. In my own way. So that includes Baldwin, the chief, Allie, who was Joey's mother. And yeah, it's one of the things I really love about the Capers book is, one, just how many NPCs there are and interesting NPCs there are. But more importantly, there is just rich information about the cities and the way that different criminal underlords are like connected and fighting against one another, and it just, for me as a GM, really created this very rich playing ground or playing field. But I am Little Red Dot. I got really excited when it was actually Ted over at Nerd Immersion who introduced me to Craig, which is ridiculous because we live like miles from one another. Craig is just in Marietta, I'm in Atlanta, which is very, very close, and here we are, and now I've become obsessed with Craig's games. So speaking of Craig's games, let's hand a Capers book out. Okay, last chance, everybody. Type ! Capone if you want in on this sweet giveaway we are about to do. This will be the last one. I will reach out to grab a address for you. Promise to Craig only, so that he can send you a hard copy book. I think.
Real quick, while
Yep.
people are typing, because I never bothered to mention like where you can find me when I started yapping earlier. You can find all sorts of game stuff that I'm doing. I blog a fair bit at nerdburgergames.com.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at Nerdburger Craig on the Twitters, and I'm closing in on a fat 400 followers. And that's my Christmas wish for this year. And when I hit 400, I'm going to give away some games.
Get on that, everybody.
And just actually as a point of information, there's a podcast out there called Plot Points that literally minutes ago posted an episode about Capers.
Oh, cool.
Hey.
Hey.
If you go looking for the Plot Points podcast, you will find, and I want to listen to it, but I have to go to bed and wait till tomorrow.
I might have to listen to it while I'm writing AL content here in just a second. All right, let's do this. Drum roll, please. Da, 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 da. Rolling up. Ha, da, da, da. So, CPT and Spicy has won the giveaway. So I will be reaching out very soon to grab all the information from you to make that a reality. Love, love, love to all of you that have come out. That being said, if you want to grab your own copy of Capers, you can do so right there. Yes, please send that. Okay, you can do that right there. So I will be reaching out here shortly for that. But I am Little Red Dot. Like I said, this game really excited me. Only one, because it was an RPG system that did not use dice, and two, the setting just inspired me just beyond belief. Between the artwork, the book, everything about it just hit home for me. So I'll give maybe a little quick bullet list instead of giving you like deep backstory of some things you may not have picked up on. So the orange liquid was introduced in the very first scene with the Preacher Man. So that was dropped at the very, very top of this. Let's see. The cops tracked you guys back to the hotel thanks to the footprints and the car tracks that you left at the scene of the crime for the first round of Moisey Sisters. There was something else I was gonna... the kid. At the top, when all of the booze got emptied out into your basement, was like drained, and it was ruined, was because the Preacher Man wanted you to buy more booze with anti-trimbium in it. In case you wanted to buy another, like, round.
That makes sense.
Yep. And there was a good probability that, a very good probability that Capone planned to actually slaughter all of you, and simply take everything for his own. The only reason he didn't do that is truly the only reason he didn't do that is because he watched the amount of strength that Joey had in killing his father. And he had a second thought that maybe, just maybe, he might have a bit of a competition. But he will be back to get his for sure. Cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Nice. I think those were the big things for me. That I hope you guys really did enjoy our little short story. I know it was only 4 episodes, but all of them will be going up on YouTube. So if you have friends that you want to see this game, they can go watch it over on my YouTube channel. Yeah. So I think that's all I've got for you. I'm very excited. I'll actually be joining Craig in January to do a little chat about indie games. If you don't know, here on my channel, I have kind of dedicated it to running indie RPGs and video games. I do D&D once a month for Sunday Fun Days, but overall, I really like to stay focused on giving some light to games that need it so that other people can see them played. And I love it. I love learning new games. I love meeting new writers. I love bringing all of these incredible gamers that for some reason like to play with me to the table to get to draw cards or roll dice, and I'm very terribly passionate about it. So I will tell you that this Friday we will be on our 3rd episode of Witch Girl Adventures. So if you need some wholesome fun where children don't die, not everything is lit on fire, and, you know, esophagus crushed, you can come check out Witch Girl's Adventures. Last week was all about a very potent sticky bun. Honest to God. 2 hours about a sticky bun. So, yeah, very, very wholesome, a lot of fun. Come check that out. I can announce that starting in January, I will be running a campaign called The Appliance Wars, which is based in the Fate Core system and is a kind of post-apocalyptic type setting where everybody plays sentient appliances and the humans hunt them for resources. Kiko will actually be joining us from that, I'm very excited to say, and I've got another incredible cast lined up. I finished nailing that down today. So very similar to, I guess, the Anchorman campaign that I ran. It'll be using Fate Core and kind of my own spices on top. And then I haven't decided what's happening in February or March, so I'm talking with a few game designers. So if you have a game you want to pitch to me, if you have a friend who has a game that needs to be pitched to me, come join me in my Discord. That's the best place to come chat. You can always private message me. That's how I got in contact with Craig. That's how I picked out Witch Girl Adventures. Malcolm simply reached out and was like, do you want to play my game? And I was like, yes, in fact, I do. So it's really that simple. I'm a terribly not scary person at all. So just reach out, let's chat, let's hear about your game and see if it fits the kind of month-long 4-episode campaign series that I run. Other than that, I want to thank you again for tuning in. Make sure to go support Capers. It is a game. It is out there. It is for you to play. Take it to your friends, to your players. Encourage other channels to play it, and go show Nurburger Craig a bunch of love on his Twitter so we can get him at 400 followers for the holidays, because everybody deserves a little gift in their digital Christmas tree. I think that's all I've got for me. So thank you guys again for all the subs and all the love, and until next time, remember, don't do anything Joey wouldn't do. Because, you know. Okay, till next time, everybody. Have a good